Here. Okay, we're just shooting the shit here, but here with Andrew Russell, episode 19. Uh, but what was I saying? Oh, about getting the fire.
Yeah.
Very simple, because I did it in 2024. That took some time. I had to do a lot of training, not extraordinarily a lot, but do training, do field day, make sure you're in shape, which a lot of people aren't in shape to hike. Um, you know, steep mountains with a 45, 50 pound pack, and then carry hose and carry a tool. So that's a bit of a process. But I'm in shape right now. I'm dialed in. I was in New Mexico for a while, and I was hiking 12 and 13,000 elevation peaks and stuff. So I'm good to go. And then
Feel
obviously
good.
training still. Yeah, yeah.
When did you move from New Mexico over to Oregon?
Shoot, like a week ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So quick transition out west, but it's good.
Thank you for you, brother.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
let's freaking dive into you though. If people watch my YouTube, I'm just yapping all the time, so it's good to have somebody on the talk with. We got all the jerseys back here. 40. So you got
Yeah.
43 at all of them?
All of them.
What about lacrosse?
Lacrosse, I was 9.
Oh, nine's hard. That's a good
I,
number.
well, I was 21 freshman year, and then sophomore year I was 9. Which was my high school number too, but that's what I finished up in Lax with.
Cool. Okay.
And
So
then
if
43 worked out good for me too, because I was a Palomalu fan growing up.
let's go. Okay, you're a
So
Steelers fan?
Coach Harbs gave me that. I was like, dude, you could have picked a better number.
That's a hard number. Let's
Yeah.
go, man. So if people are watching, they see Kansas and Michigan jerseys in the background, but do you mind giving a bit of a background on yourself?
Yeah.
Because you got a cool story.
So graduate from Victor, which we were rivals with Clank. He was a Pittsburgh guy. Immediately I go to Michigan, join the lacrosse team. Freshman year goes great. Got a lot of playing time. Sophomore year, I walk onto the football team, which was kind of like had that going on before I even got to Michigan. It was like, hey, like you'll have the opportunity to play football sophomore year. Um, and the end of lacrosse season comes around. My coach probably did not think I was still going to want to do that after
Oh,
like
really?
playing well in lacrosse. He's like, yeah, we got him. But I was like, yeah, no, coach, I'm still like, let's do the damn thing. And you know how football is, dude. Football's really like straight. That 8 weeks in the summer is like that was my tryout. Like they didn't even see me play football. It was like, can this kid get through like what we're about to put him through these 8 weeks? And I did it with flying colors, dude. I crushed that shit. Coach Herb, I mean, the dude absolutely changed my life. He was such a beauty. Just
He's the strength coach.
strength coach. Oh yeah, he was. They got him from Wisconsin, paid him $1 million a year, and made him the highest paid strength coach in all of college football. And he was, yeah. When you talk about a guy that is all that in a bag of chips, that dude right there is. First time I met him, I'm 175 pounds, soaking wet, maybe string bean, and I'm in the like the training room, and he comes up to me with our like head trainer, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Like this dude's
I love
bald,
it.
eyes big. What are you doing here? I'm like, Coach, I'm here to play football. And he's looking at me. He's like, well, you got the frame, but you're gonna have to listen to everything I fucking tell you to do. I was like, I was damn near about to start shedding a tear, dude, because this guy's just looking me right through my soul. I'm like, yes, sir. And those 8 weeks, man, I mean, I had the mindset where I couldn't be broken, no matter what they throw at me. Like, I will not break, and I'm gonna work harder than all these guys who are here on scholarship. I'm walking.
Hmm.
So like, that's a whole nother beast. Um, so then I'll never forget. I'm home. I'm back in Victor. The 8 weeks are over. We got like a week before camp starts, and I still like I'm planning to go back, but I never had like a call from anybody. And so my phone rings. It's my safeties coach. I'm back in Victor at my mom's house. Answer the phone. I'm like, hey, Coach Partridge, like, how we doing? He's like, hey, Andrew, it's actually Coach Harbaugh here. I'm like, oh, Coach Harbaugh, how we doing? He's like, listen, like, I've only heard great things about you. Like, why don't you come on back here? We'll get you rolling for camp. I'm like, Coach, I'm getting in the Jeep tomorrow and I'm on my way back to Ann Arbor. Say no more.
Let's go.
So yeah, man, then went there. That first year was a lot of scout team, a lot of watching, and then next year hit. It was actually COVID. And I was home for COVID, got ran over by a jet ski,
What?
ACL. Oh yeah, dude, ran over.
You're
If it would have
this.
hit me up high, I'd have been gone. Knee partially tore my ACL, so the doctor said like if this is your ACL, that's what you got left. So you can get surgery, you can just strengthen it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not getting surgery. I've seen too many of those. My friends, teammates of mine, go through that. I was like, fuck that. So went back. I was very fortunate enough to still be playing lacrosse because the numbers rule during COVID. You can only have so many people in the building.
Okay.
So Michigan football, like they're like, yeah, go train with lacrosse because like we have a cap on how many people we can even have in the building, and if you're not going to play this year, there's no sense in you just coming in here and training. So I'm like, okay. So I go back with lacrosse the whole year, and then my lacrosse coach is like, hey, listen, like I think you should make a decision. And you should pick one or the other because like this whole two things too much, and it was for me too. I mean, for them it was a lot too. Obviously, having me just like there sometimes, not there all the time. And so I get fully healthy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm playing football. Talk to parents, a lot of prayers, all that stuff, and so I'll never forget. I go into my lacrosse coach's office, and I love him to this day. Me and him still talk. That's my guy. I go into his office first day of practice, and I just get cleared, and then I'm like, "Hey, coach." He's like, "Russ, you ready to go today, baby?" And I'm like, "Yeah, coach. I'm gonna play football." And he looks me right in my eyes. He's like, "Get the fuck out." He's like, "I can't deal with this right now. You gotta get the fuck out of my office." So I'm like, all right, get out of my chair. I leave. Calls me a little bit later. He's like, listen, like, you can still do both, all this stuff, da da da. I'm like, no, coach, like, I'm set and sold. Then Coach Harbaugh calls me and he's like, listen, man, I got no problem with you doing both, coming back. And I'm like, no, coach, I'm all in on football. Like, I want to be a Michigan Wolverine. And he's like, all right, say no more. Your locker's ready for you tomorrow. So then that was my first spring ball ever. Was my
Mm,
last year at Michigan, essentially my senior year of school, but it was only my second year of football.
mm.
Was my first spring ball, which was amazing. Loved it. Um,
Were you playing safety at the time?
yeah, safety. You know, started like actually being able to learn. I actually like got like big, strong. Like that full. I mean, you remember, did that full like that training is so important for football, and like my body needed it, my mind needed it. Able to have that was huge. And going into that summer, I was more ready than ever. First game comes, starting on kickoff. Second game, I'm on kickoff, punt return,
Let's go.
and punt return and punt. Game three, I'll never forget. I get a block in the back penalty.
Oh no.
Coach Harbaugh's like, yeah, like you're done. I was like, he's got to be fucking kidding me. But like all in all, like what an elite life lesson that was. Because like I kept working that whole year to try to get back on the field, and it never happened. Go through spring ball the following year, I'm playing great, but in my heart to heart with him, he's like, "Listen, if you really want to like play, like you should go somewhere else. If you don't like anything, we love you here. We'll take you back." And he was awesome to even like give me that opportunity to go into the portal, see what was open, and that's why you see the Kansas jerseys back here too. So when that happened, it was Vanderbilt, Syracuse, and Kansas, where it was like, okay, like we want you to come here, like, and then had Navitz at Kansas, just the opportunity that it was there at the moment. They're in the process of building, and you were coached by them too. You remember Coach Sleeve, Coach
Hmm.
Leipold. I mean, you talk about culture guys, like that was them. And so when I went and visited that, I was like, yeah, this is something I want to be a part of, no question. And then was able to go to Kansas and get a lot of PTL on special teams. But I mean, game changing moments in my life, which was just fantastic. Glad I did it.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. So that your final year was at Kansas. How was it transferring? You're used to Michigan the whole time. You've been going there. How was
Yeah.
that process of going to a new school? Kind of, you almost gotta kind of prove yourself again, right? In a
Oh
sense,
yeah.
because nobody knows who you are. Obviously Dirk's gonna vouch for you,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but nobody else probably knew who you were.
Without question. I think I mean leaving Ann Arbor was a very it was difficult. Like I remember when I had the trailer on the back of the Jeep and I'm pulling out, I'm like, ah, oh, dude, am I making the right decision right now? And then I get to Kansas, I meet the guys, get to training. I feel like that's training is a huge part where like relationships can start to get formed. And like I was in the pit with Lawrence Arnold and Jalen Daniels, so our starting receiver and our starting quarterback.
Hmm.
So I'm with those guys every single day in the summer. People see work ethics, obviously. We did a whole lot of like culture stuff. I remember how Sleeve was. Cultivate
Yeah.
is what we called it every Wednesday. And for me, like I've never been one to hold back. I am who I am. I'm authentic. So like during those conversations, I was able to be real with people. During workouts, I'm not only gonna push myself, but like anybody around me, like I'm barking. Like, come on, like we got to get this shit going, boys. So
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of them picked up on my energy pretty quick, and then, I mean, by camp, it was yeah, we were rolling. Once the pads went on, it was like okay, like yeah, this kid's here, and I even I had a voice at Kansas too, which was special to have that. So
It's a man, that's something. There's always pros and cons of like leaving football and leaving your sport behind. But one of the my favorite things for sure is being able to lead guys. I mean, that's what you're doing now too as a coach,
yeah,
is leading people towards their goals, especially something that you've walked through. As being a walk-on playing at freaking Michigan, like guys, I think there's also a rap too. Maybe you've seen this. Is like sometimes guys who transfer from, well, Michigan, you guys were what, national champions?
we were Big Ten champions. I
Big
left
Ten
the year
champions.
before they won the
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're playing at a super high school and then you come down. Like I remember at UB, we'd get guys from Notre Dame or whoever. I'm like, oh, this guy, he's transferring down.
Right.
He's probably whatever. It might not be whatever the reason is. It's
Yeah.
typically I always felt like transferring up, the guy's like probably getting better, transferring down,
Right.
different. And for you, being a walk-on, it's like a different scenario. You're going to get a bigger opportunity, and then you get to lead guys in a program that needs leadership. From everything
Right.
I've heard from guys, from Rich and Dirk and all these guys, how important that was. So that must have been super fulfilling. Like, are you still tight with some of the guys from
Oh my
Kansas?
God. I still talk to. It's funny. I probably still talk to more guys from Kansas than I do at Michigan. Like my Michigan buddies, I mean, me and Jabo, he's with the Dolphins now. That's football wise, probably one of the only people I talk with regularly. And then obviously my lacrosse buddies, that group chat doesn't stop ringing all day long. But two different animals right there. But Kansas, I mean, I still talk to guys from Kansas, like probably at least a handful of them, like weekly. So.
Yeah. How about, there's some questions I still have from like athletic career. How is that transition from doing things? Is this me? I think so. Whoops, sorry. Um, that transition when maybe you're dealing with people saying, "Hey, you should probably just stick with lacrosse." I don't know if it's friends, family, but sometimes you got to make a decision for yourself. And a lot of people don't think it's right for you, but you know in your gut it's right.
Oh
And that's like
yeah.
a tough balance to play because you feel like you're disappointing people. But if you disappoint yourself, that's the worst feeling in the world, right?
Yeah,
So
without
how did you go
question.
about that?
I'd say probably the one thing in life when you have that gut feeling, like it doesn't matter what anybody says, you gotta go, right? So like the lacrosse situation, even when I was in high school, and I would tell people like, yeah, I'm going to Michigan to play like football and lacrosse, and people would look at me so crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. And then even when I was at Michigan, and I'm telling my lacrosse buddies like, hey man, like I'm playing football next year. These guys are like, dude, have you lost your mind? And then when you go and do it, it's like, okay, holy shit, now he's actually doing it. And then when I was like, yeah, like I gotta pick one. They're all my lacrosse buddies, especially. They're like, dude, like you're here. I lived with my lacrosse buddies, like, and I'm still tight with those guys extremely.
Mhm.
And when I left, like a lot of them were really pissed off. Like cold shoulder, they didn't want to talk to me a whole lot. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, I understand. I get it. A lot of times in life, people like it. It's natural to be selfish and to look out for themselves. I get that, and I brought value to the lacrosse team. So they're like, why would you leave? You have a starting spot here. You're gonna have to go and absolutely grind to even sniff the field over there. But for me, like I knew in my gut, like I knew what was destined for me without
Hmm.
question. So I went with that.
When did you know that? Like when did you, was it always through high school and just
Yeah, I
growing
mean,
up,
he
football was the
even
thing?
yeah, I mean, it was the guy that even like gave me the idea, Coach Tillman at the University of Michigan or Maryland. Um, he was like, "Hey, listen, man, I know you're a big football guy. Why don't you come here and do both?"
Hmm.
And so I was like, "Holy shit!" I was talking to my pops, my mom, like Maryland coach wants me to go play both. Like we didn't even know that was possible to do. And so I'm like, well, the head coach at Michigan for lacrosse was the head defensive coordinator at Maryland with the coach at Maryland that gave me the idea. He just had gotten the Michigan job.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, like, watch this. I'm like, hey, coach, your buddy, Coach Tillman told me I could do both. And you got me?
I got you. You got me?
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, you can do both. And I'm like, okay. So I go tell the Michigan lacrosse coach, I'm like, hey, if you can find a way for me to do both at Michigan, I signed to you tomorrow. Like I'm committing. It's a done deal. You got me. He calls me back the next day. He's like, "Hey, I got an opportunity for you to walk on sophomore year. Done deal." I'm like, "I'm yeah, coach. I'm yours."
That's epic. So
Oh yeah,
how about, I'm interested, mindset. Where did you form your mindset? Because your mindset, something you said that stood out to me was you played 3 games, you got a block in the back penalty. I've been there getting penalties, and especially this walk on, it's no
yeah,
bueno.
oh yeah. It's
But
tough.
but then you don't have a victim mentality at all with that. You're like, hey, that taught me an extremely important lesson, which of course it did. But you know how it is in football and sports. Many guys would fucking quit if they get
Oh
told
yeah.
that, or if they grind in practice. Like, so how did you form the mentality to not only stick it out, but like push your ass to then get the respect from Coach Harbaugh to tell you the truth the next spring so you could transfer and then obviously play your final year at Kansas.
Yeah. Man, I'd say for that, first and foremost, I gotta thank God for that because trials and tribulations are what make a man in this life. Truly.
Hmm.
Any strong man in this life has been through trials and tribulations and they've overcome every single one of them. So when that happened for me, man, especially like with everything that I poured into that to get to that moment playing in front of 110,000 and to have it snatched away off of a block in the back penalty, which we scored the next play. Like I backed us up, but we had a 90-yard touchdown the next play. I almost wanted to give him a little slap in the ass. Like, hey, coach, come on. But man, for me, it was like that was just another like trial and tribulation that I had to overcome, like without question. I had been through so much athletically at that moment, and it's like, okay, this is just another hump. This is just another fork in the road, and what an opportunity it is to climb over it. And like for you, like yeah, where does that mindset come from, man? I mean,
Yeah, I've heard pre ACL, right? You got a ski accident, but before that, like upbringing, what was,
yeah,
most guys they don't have the
I give a
mentality. So,
lot to it to my pops. I mean, guy is just an absolute workhorse. Like from the time we were kids, like we weren't the type of kids inside playing games, like
mm,
video games and all that. Like we're always outside. He'd always push us to be the best versions of ourselves. Like with myself, with my older brother, little brother, with my sister, like he really did get the best out of us and he wouldn't let us settle for mediocrity. Like that was not an option in our household. And
mm,
so I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that. Um, to be pushed like that from such a young age, like, yeah, that was in all sports and everything that we did, whether it was school, sports, I don't whatever. If we're demoing a house, we used to do that back in the day. He's like, "You boys better get rolling. Like, let's go." And so, like, having that mindset, seeing the way that he applied himself every single day was like, I mean, that's the standard.
Hmm.
There it is right there. So I'd say a lot of that comes from my old man without question.
That's awesome. I'm the same way. That's where I
Yeah.
learned a lot from. It's it's cool as a man to have a really, it's a blessing to have a role model who you can see doesn't, you know, just talk about it, but just embodies it, you know. They're like when they do it and you grow up just seeing that, it's like there's no other option but just work your ass off and
Yeah.
apply yourself to the max. So that's fantastic, man. That's big time. Um, and then walk me through the recruitment process, right? You're going through college, you're going through high school. You're obviously, I remember, I mean, I was 2 years older than you, so I was a senior and you were a sophomore and you're starting and destroying guys then. So how
Yeah.
was the process? New York State gets under recruited criminally.
Without question.
So how was the process of figuring out recruitment? Was it just mostly
So
lacrosse or was it football too? How'd that
yeah,
go?
so lacrosse, I was actually committed as a freshman to the University of Virginia.
You and Mike. It wasn't Mike
Yeah,
too?
me and the vet, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so freshman year of high school, committed to Virginia and lacrosse. I mean, I could have my freshman year. I really could have gone just about anywhere. I had Hopkins, I had ND, I had Penn State. I mean, any school I was interested in, like they would have taken. I was extremely, extremely blessed for those opportunities. But Virginia, Coach Starship was just he was such a good guy. And I mean, sold myself, my pops, my mom. When we went up there for the visit, it was like, yeah, this is. Then I think I'm a freshman at this point. It's like, what are we
Young
doing?
bulls.
I committed. I had a sister that was a senior, and I had a brother that was a junior at the time, and they didn't know where they were going to school. And I'm this little pee-wee freshman. It's like, yeah, I'm going to the University of Virginia. So that was crazy. It was a roller coaster. I mean, dude, I committed as a freshman. I was on JV lacrosse as a
What?
freshman.
How'd you
Yeah, I
get
was
an offer?
huh?
How'd you get the offer then? How does that? I don't know how
For
lacrosse
for
works
some
as
from
much.
summer lacrosse
Okay. Is that like
because we
Sweet
were
Lax and
so
stuff
we
like
were
that?
so stacked at varsity where
Okay.
they're like, dude, we don't like you can be on a team, but we don't need you, so you might as well go and play. I'm like, okay, all right. Like that was a little that's another thing that builds on more and more to what we're talking about. Like even in high school, like that's most kids would be like, dude, I'm committed to Virginia. What do you
Of
mean I'm
course.
not on varsity? Like what? We were like, okay, let's go play, let's go have fun, man. Like what are we gonna get mad about? What are we they're the coaches, let them make the decision. So um probably my junior year had a great football season. Then I started getting like smaller schools like UB, Monmouth. Q's offered me as a walk on, and it's like, okay, like we got something here. And the difference between putting a lacrosse helmet on and a football helmet on was pretty substantial. I love lacrosse, but when that football helmet clicked, it was like, all right, we're going to war.
Hmm.
And that feeling, I mean, you remember, you can't beat that. You truly can't. So that's where my head was, dude. It was like I want to play football, but I wanted to play at the highest of the highest level,
Hmm.
right? I didn't want to go to a Monmouth. I wanted to. Looking back, it might have not been the worst idea, but like I also wouldn't trade my path and my journey for anything. So then senior year, I actually blow out my left shoulder playing football. Yeah, third game into the season, that was supposed to be like, okay, if you want to go for football, like, you need to go crazy this year,
Hmm.
and then you'll sign later in the spring somewhere. Um, so yeah, that unfortunately didn't get to happen. So then I called my club coach, and I'm like, hey, listen, let's see what's out there for lacrosse again. And that night, I'll never forget, Saturday night, I had Maryland, Cuse, Notre Dame, um, Michigan, obviously, ringing my phone at 9:30 and then on a Saturday. I was like, good lord, dude. Okay, maybe maybe lacrosse actually is the right way to do it. But then when the Maryland the coach gave me that idea, it's like, holy shit, we're still in the driver's seat for this.
Hmm.
And then so the way everything went out, man, it really is. It's nothing but a blessing, bro. Truly.
Man, that's epic. Okay, so then when did training become important? You mentioned your strength coach at Michigan. Were you in the weight room heavily in high school, or when did you realize that was going to be key for your success?
Yeah. High school I used to train. I mean, picked it up a lot. Probably going into junior year is when I really started like falling in love with it and being like consistent with it.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, the importance of strength training and with sports is you need it. There's no way to go about it. And I even look, especially in college, like the kids that didn't like to work out, they're sitting at home right now. They're not in the NFL. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like the guys that loved every aspect of that journey, they were the hardest workers in the weight room. They were the hardest workers on the field. They were the hardest workers feeding themselves nutrition wise. Those are the guys still playing right now on Sundays. And those guys might have not been the most talented, but they're the ones that focused on it the most, without question.
Yeah, and you forget your body's a that's how you get paid if you're playing sports. And if you're not, obviously the skill is really important, but if you're not strengthening that body to hit another man move them against their will, if you're not feeding your body, like you're going to be in car accidents every week,
Oh,
you're not going
yeah.
to sustain it.
Yeah, good. Well, for you, when was that? When did that happen for you? Where you were like, okay, like I need to really focus on this stuff right here.
Yeah. It was after sophomore year of high school for training. That's when I woke up to training.
Yeah.
Sophomore year of high school, I was a late bloomer. I was always young for my grade. So I graduated high school at 17, got to UB at 17. So kind of throughout high school, I was just tall, lanky, skinny kid. And then sophomore year, I finally kind of grew into my body and was a starting DN, was playing great my first game of JV for sophomore. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get called up. And then I got a sack, actually. I hurt my back and I was out for the rest of the season. I would dress for the game, but I couldn't really move. Little did I know I herniated a disc, but I didn't get an MRI back then. So I had no idea and I couldn't move. Like it was terrible. So then after the season, I didn't really lift much. My buddy Jake Molnich, he was always in the weight room, but I was like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't fully bought in, like power cleaning, deep squat, and I was just kind of go in, get a pump, whatever. And then after that, I was like, I got to buy in, and I started lifting really heavy. And then junior year was a prominent player on varsity, nothing crazy, but played both sides of the ball, did well. And right after we were, I think in sectionals junior year, my coach Molnich, I was like 230 playing left tackle, blocking against like Riggins and Jameer Jones and Dirk and all these guys, LaFave. And he's like, if you want, and I was doing well, but he's like, if you want to play college, you got to get bigger. You're 6'3", 230. As an O lineman, you're too small. And I was like, all right, I took that to heart. And then from there, and then by the time senior year, I was about 290. So I gained like 60 pounds in that off season. And that's when I started looking into nutrition. I would follow the bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongmen. I was just all in it. And I had a good purpose too. My mom got sick at the time. She had cancer. So I was just super motivated. Kind of like you said, you see people, family members who work hard. My father was a business owner. So he was always at work. I had two younger brothers. My mom's sick. So I'm meal prepping, cooking for the family. And I knew the importance of lifting. So I dragged my little brother with me to the weight room. And that's when I learned about it. Obviously in college, learned a lot more. We had a guy, Coach Sid, Ryan Sidzik, he was freshman year. He's like, we don't eat for taste. He's like, I eat cans of tuna, bare hands, and all this stuff. And he trains Green Berets. He's a badass dude. But he was a power lifter, West Side guy. So learned from him. And then obviously I had Coach Lou, who was fantastic, Coach Sleeve, a lot of good
Oh, yeah.
dietitians. Um, but that was super important because I got to college and I was like, damn, I'm heavy, like heavy for me, 290, but I'm like, my body fat is too high. It was 25, 29, it was 29%. I was like, holy shit. So then eventually by the end of my career, I got it down like 24 at like 300, which was better. But that whole time as a walk on, I was able to, I had to cook my own food, right? In the summer, the guys get all their food. They get their breakfast, lunch, dinner. And at that time for UB, we didn't really, it was kind of, we were still a program just trying to freaking get out of some poor conditions, to be quite frank. We had the injured guys making PB&Js for the for us after training, like getting cartons of chocolate milk. So it was still a low quality program a little bit, packets of tuna, but I was cooking my own food, living with some other guys who were seniors, and and then kind of throughout the time, just kept studying it myself, and meal prep and bringing in food, and eventually helped out other guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How
When
about
you
you for
made that
nutrition? Oh,
jump,
go ahead. Yeah.
when you made that jump from 230 to 290 senior, like from junior to senior of high school, what was like? I mean, the calorie intake had to be through the roof. What was the meals that helped you get there?
Yeah, I would be tracking. It's funny because I help a lot of high school linemen
Yeah.
now. So I have some guys who I talk to. None of them are like crazy bulks like I was doing, but I used MyFitnessPal way back in like 2014. So I was tracking my food. I learned the importance of that. I would bring my lunch to school, weigh it all out, bring it to school, have everything, 2 lunches a day. But in the morning, I always had like oatmeal. And then my dad at the time he was a Tim Hortons franchisee. So he had a few Tim Hortons. So he would always bring home, like they had these big ass bags of eggs and sausage. So in the morning, I'd microwave like 4 sausages, 4 eggs, and then a big bowl of oatmeal, banana, honey, whatever I could have. Maybe some cereal, who knows? A whole milk, of course.
Hmm.
And then I'd bring to school like a pound of beef and rice, and I'd eat that, whatever, like fourth period, sixth period. So I'd have 2 lunches. And then I have protein bars, like those big Metarex bars. I'd just be putting those down. So I was eating, my calories were always 5,000 plus. Um, a lot of times over six. Even at UB, I have like some trackers where I'm like a month straight of like 6,500 a day because it was tough for me to get the weight on. And my gym coach, every gym class, he was my OC and O-line coach. He would weigh me in. So we had a whiteboard, and he was like clinks of weight. And every time I'd weigh in, write down my weight because he's like, you got to be big for next season. We're running behind you. And then after lifting, I would make like a 3,000 calorie shake. I remember seeing Rich Piana had something like that. So that was back when Rich Piana, he was like a big guy in the fitness industry, Jay Cutler. So I'd see all these guys, Ronnie Coleman, he would make these crazy shakes. So I'd make it like raw eggs, oatmeal, this Optimum Nutrition supplement called Serious Mass. I still remember it. It was like whatever, 600 calories a scoop. It was crazy. Chocolate syrup, whole milk, ice cream, anything I could put in there. And then I'd have dinner, and then I'd probably have like a box of cereal before bed. So I was eating a shit ton.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, it was
dude.
crazy, man. I didn't know much about it, so this is why I even help. I got a bunch of D1 linemen and other guys too that I help out, and it's, clean food. So the cool thing is they're doing body fat testing or speed and agility, and all their numbers are going up, even if their weight's going up, which is cool, and their body fat's coming down. So it's cool at those programs because we get to see their bod pod results or things like that. So they get to do it the right way when I dirty bulked
Oh,
the wrong way a bit. It
I
was
mean, I
crazy.
watched I watched the Vids do that same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
Guy's eating a
was
shit ton at UB.
yeah, it was disgusting. He went from probably 215 to 270 junior senior year, and I had never seen a human being eat so much food in my life.
Yeah, man. I don't recommend it to people like to do it that way because it can almost be like an eating disorder eventually. Like you don't even know when you're full. It's like you don't feel comfortable. It's a
Your
tough.
skin, your skin will stretch.
Yeah, man. I still have stretch marks. I don't have them like terribly bad, but yeah, it's been so long. They're not like tough to see them. But yeah, it's like, what women have during pregnancy when you try to grow your body that much, and you can't put on that much muscle.
No,
So a lot of it's body fat. And that's a lot of time what it was at UB. It was like I kept every offseason I would lose like 10, 15 pounds and then slowly gain it, lose it. So I'd always do kind of like mini cuts every offseason because I was like, I can't be this big year round. So wild stuff, man. What about for you for your nutrition? Were you always dialed in, like family wise? You just knew kind of to eat healthy, or how did that work for you? Because now I see you posting, you're always
yeah,
freaking dialed in with everything.
yeah, we're getting locked in now. I mean, so my switch was probably. I mean, I started learning more about it my last year at Michigan. I got pretty shredded up then, but
Hmm.
I was just eating like I was still kind of eating like shit. It was more my training. I was training so well that like I looked good, and I was probably like maybe 10% body fat.
So did you
And
bulk
then,
up? I remember you said 175. Was your first intro to nutrition kind of having to bulk up for football?
oh yeah, yeah, I couldn't get over 190 to save my life. It was like the biggest struggle for me. I'm like, why can't I get to 190? And then finally, I mean, Kansas. Let's see. I go through that spring ball at Michigan. I'm still in good shape. Spring ball ends. My lacrosse buddies and I go on a freaking bender, like probably like a 1 month bender. Well, like I also don't know where I'm going to play football, but like we also know like okay, it's our last time together.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
dude, I mean bad. Like I look like a bag by the time I got to Kansas. I look like shit.
Yep.
And I was probably 200 and maybe 210, 213, I think was the heaviest I was. Played that season at probably like 200 even. Lost probably like 13 pounds throughout camp, and then over the summer got down to a good weight.
Hmm.
And what it was for me was that spring ball at Kansas. We had the NFLPA come in,
Mm.
and they're showing us everything like your position and then like what the average body fat is in the NFL.
Yep. Oh yeah, I
And
remember
for
that.
safeties, it was 9%. And I was sitting at 17.8, call it 18%.
Yeah, that's
And
tough.
I was like, shit. Well, if I want to play in the NFL, like I better lock the fuck in. Dead ass. So, dude, that point on, I start going crazy about all this research. Um, and I hone in. The food for me was, I call it dog food: rice, eggs, ground beef. And I was at everything organic. I was like, that's when I learned about one, like how unhealthy most foods are. Like whether it's like rice, like yeah, you have to wash your rice before you boil it. Eggs, you better make sure they're not like don't get the white ones, right? Like you go find someone that has a chicken coop.
Hmm.
And in Kansas, that was an easy thing to do.
Hmm.
And then ground beef, like don't buy the $4.99 a pound ground beef at what was it,
Walmart.
Hy-Vee was our store there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like go to a butcher and make sure it's organic, grass fed ground beef. And so, dude, once I found all that stuff out, the right fruits to put in the body, everything, dude. I mean, I went from 18% body fat to 9% body fat in like 4 months.
Dang.
Yeah, coaches they were like, "What are you taking?" I was getting drug tested, all everything. I'm like, dude,
Oh,
I'm
really?
not, I'm not taking anything. What the fuck? I had my teammates coming up to me like, because I would bring my own eggs to the facility.
Yeah, you're
That's
locked in.
how
Yeah.
that's how fucking locked in I was.
Yeah, man. That's what I was doing. Yep.
My nutritionist, all these people are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. And then all my teammates, once we got back to summer workouts, I'll never forget. I popped out the shirt the first time. Everyone was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't. Oh, and zero alcohol. That took the biggest backseat of my life. I didn't drink for probably 8 months.
Mm.
I was beyond locked. Um, And man, I had my teammates coming up to me asking what to eat, what to do. My nutritionists were so pissed off at me, dude. But like, listen, I would tell them like, hey, listen, this is what I did. I don't. It will work if you do this and you like find out your own research. Everybody's different. Every single human digests shit differently. But
Hmm.
when you go find what works for you and you start eating whole foods, no more processed foods, no more Doritos, no more alcohol. Like, dude, you're gonna look really good. You're gonna feel really good, and you're gonna shred off all that body fat quick. And
100%.
then, yeah, I mean, the last 4 years after that, I haven't let up at all. I've completely fell in love with that whole thing. I mean, when you look good, you feel good, and I mean, sleep has never been better in my life. Everything, mindset, mood, everything. There's never anything bad.
Freaking dialed in, man. I love it.
Locked.
Locked. When you got the NFLPA presentation and you're like, I gotta lose body fat. When you started researching it, what were some of the people or philosophies you were researching? Like, how did that initially go?
Paul Saladino. I hope
Hmm.
I said his last name right.
Yeah, you
That
did.
dude right. That dude right there changed my life. Changed my life. When I found his page, and I mean, you know how the phones are. You start thinking about it. You start talking about it. Now he pops up on my phone because I'm like, it's like, yeah, there's a classic. We can get to that later for
We'll get into
sure.
that. I'm down.
um, but dude, once I started seeing all his videos and like how he breaks shit down, like the raw honey. I mean, I got his. I love it, dude. That's his raw lineage honey right there.
Oh, there we go. I got
Like
some over there.
yeah, I'm bought in on that dude right there. he's whatever he's putting out, I'm buying it because I trust the dude, and he is. I mean, he's like I want to say he's like mid 40s maybe, and he's still fucking shredded. Like that's a prime example right there. If you continuously feed yourself good, dude, you're gonna look great your whole life. Simple
100%.
as that.
Yeah, 100. It's and something a lot of athletes forget about that, like to fuel the right way post ball. And we both did. It sounds like you did the opposite before you even finished of cleaning it up, and that's something I did after, or to lose weight, be healthy. But so, how was the transition after football then? We'll dive into some phone Black Mirror stuff too. But
Oh, yeah,
how'd
yeah.
that go after ball? You're
Post
playing.
football. Yeah, man. I mean, post ball like that moment. I tried the whole NFL thing, even though my chances were very, very slim to none. I still
So did
gave
you
it
do pro day?
everything.
How did that all that like? What was that
Pro
process
day
like
did
for you?
good. I ran a 4.53. I mean,
Shit, yeah,
my numbers were fantastic.
yeah.
Problem was my senior year of at Kansas, I dislocated my shoulder and had surgery.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah. So I had good film from the year before, all on special team stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get. There's NFL guys that are just special teams guys, but not having that last year definitely screwed me. Nothing came. Agent was like, listen, like, well, I got a bunch of connects in the CFL, like UFL. Why don't we try that out? And I'm like, listen, man, like, yeah, I'm all set on all that. Like, if it wasn't the NFL for me, did the what the body goes through. I had both my shoulders done. I mean, there were days where I would be crippling into the training room just to get enough pre-practice treatment to get through practice. Like those are the days I don't forget. Like I remember like being so grateful when my feet would hit the floor. And sometimes it would take me 10 minutes to even just roll out of bed. Um, yeah, so the pain, it's a blessing waking up every day and just having soreness from working out. That is like amazing. But staying into it, dude, I mean, I give Coach Sleeve probably the most credit for that. And we both had Coach Sleeve and like dude, his mindset, one thing he always told me was mediocrity is for cowards. And like that, like I still hear him say that to me to this day. Like truly. And like I just can't live a life like that. Like training is just it's become a part of who I am. Like I mean on my birthday last year I ran a marathon, untrained. Like I just got up my 26th birthday, August 26th. I'm like, holy shit, the stars are aligning. I gotta go run 26 miles. And that was probably one of the hardest things physically and mentally I'd ever done. But like that's also like part of the training every day. Like I knew I could do it. Like I knew like once I started running and I had all the fuel in the car. Cobb's Hill, I ran around that track 38 times, was 26 miles. And it was just like people on that track were looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? Because dude, from 22 to 26, I'm not running. I'm stiff legged, cramped up, like hobbling around that shit. And I'm like, I'm finishing. Um, but yeah, dude, just the mindset to just not stop and to just not get caught up in being an average person. Like to be the standard. To be people someone people look at and they're like, holy shit, this guy right here, like this guy embodies discipline. Like he is, you can take a look at some people and like you just know, like, hey, like this dude's serious about his shit. Like he's not fucking around. And yeah, having that is an extreme blessing and one thing that I'll never lose. Even after ball, I was like, yeah, we're still fucking going. We're still training every day. We're still gonna eat good every day. I mean, being in Rochester, garbage plates. I'll still have one of those here and there. That's tough to stay away from. But
That's a
I
fact.
mean, for the most part, I'm still locked in. I come home, eat lunch every day when it'd be very easy to fucking go get fast food and shit. Especially all the guys on the job, that's all they're eating is bullshit. And they're like, "Oh, what are you going home to eat your fucking steak and eggs there?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I actually am. I
Million
am.
million bucks.
Yeah, without question."
So you do pro day, and then you're like, okay, NFL is not going to work out. So where? then where do you go from there? Where a lot of guys get stuck in the stage.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's so. And anybody stuck in that stage, like a lot of my buddies, when they just finished up at Kansas and they were stuck in that stage, I told them, just go do something. Immediately go do something. I'm beyond thankful for my big brother for that aspect. Just because he already had this company going, and he's like, listen, just come. Like, I know you still want to work out, and I know you're still waiting on a phone call and all this, da da da. Just come and give me like 5 hours a day. So I would work from like I'd go train in the morning, I'd go eat, and then I'd go work for him from like 12 to 5. And at that point, I mean, it was like me and two other guys. Now we're at 30 people. So yeah, so this is like just starting up, and I'll never forget it. We went on a car ride to pick up his new truck in New Jersey. And he's asking me all these questions. What do you want out of life? Like, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? All this stuff.
Hmm.
And like, honestly, a lot of it, like, I didn't really have a whole lot of answers. I just, like, one thing I've always wanted in life, I wanted to be able to like help people. I feel like God has brought me here to serve and to help people. Like, a lot of people don't live life happy. They have a lot of shit that drags them down constantly. I've never been one of those people, thankfully. And so, like, as many people as I can lift up, like that's the mission.
Hmm.
And so my brother's like, listen, dude, you have all of these like unbelievable qualities that like a lot of people do not have. He's like, you need guidance. He's like, let me mentor you. Like, at least give me a year. Give me a year, listen to what the fuck I'm telling you, and just come on. Like, start working longer days for me. Start like actually buying in. And so I was like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Come on. And that was 2 years ago. And it was by far probably the best decision I made in my life. I mean, the things I could do with my hands now, like, and I got my house last year, and I've fixed the whole thing up and made it like unbelievable in here. And what I get to do on a day-to-day basis, I still get to lead men. I'm 26 years old, leading 40-year-old men at work, and like, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing 2 years ago. Now I could walk into a house. I'm like, okay, we need to do this. And so like having that is like, I tell my big brother all the time, is like, it's such a blessing what I've been able to learn, the experiences I've had, and like even going into this new like the personal training aspect. It's a huge reason I'm doing it too, is because like I want to be able to help even more people accomplish what they want to accomplish and like raise the standard for themselves and like in their own households.
Yeah, man, that's freaking epic. I love it.
Yeah.
So then you started. So then the company's grown to 30 employees. That's freaking awesome, man. What's the
Yeah.
name of it again?
Rochester Home Management. Anybody needs anything done to their
Yeah,
home,
let's go.
you
Call
get
them
the
up.
line.
Yeah, they better. Okay, so then obviously you're doing great there. And then when did, throughout the whole time maybe, but when did you decide to start the kind of the coaching, the 1% program,
Yeah.
and what you're doing now?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still working at construction and doing all that
Yeah.
stuff on top of it. But probably, let's see, probably like 6 months of being out of football. I'm still training. I'd be posting stuff here and there, like reminding people, like, hey, like, go hit the fucking gym. Like,
Mhm.
I don't play football anymore, but I still, like, you damn right, I still look like I could. Like, let's. So some of my buddies are hitting me up, like, dude, what are you on? Like, what peptides are you taking? Like, give
Yep.
me the sauce. And I'm like, dude, this shit is all natural. I just
Mhm.
haven't stopped. Like, I never stopped. And so, like, then some of them are like, okay, well, can you help me out? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'd love to help you out. And so that's how it kind of all started. And so, like, I want to say, like, maybe March of 2025, I started, like, helping people and, like, pushing out, like, hey, like, if you need help, like, I hit up all my lacrosse buddies, all my former football buddies. I'm like, hey, listen, if you guys need help, like, I'm not even charging. I want to help. So I put it on my Snapchat and stuff like that. And I probably helped, I want to, 20 to 25 people. And I mean, when I was coaching, one thing Coach Harbaugh taught me was like, listen, everybody's different. Every single kid is different, just like every human's different. He was talking about like kids he's coaching, right? So you gotta find what gets that person to tick, and whatever it is, you fucking run with it. So like as I took that into like I'm like okay like yeah say no more coach. So as I've been coaching people now, whatever it is for them, whether I want to look better, I want to feel better, like I just want to be healthy, I want to lose fat, whatever. I don't want to let you down. You're doing this for me. I don't want to let you down. Okay, bet whatever the fuck it is, we're running with it. And so every day, dude, I'm texting these people. I'm calling them. You didn't send me your pictures. You never send me your work like you working out in the gym today. What did you eat? And so like when these people start having like someone accountable on their ass all the time, dude, the results that we got after like 4 months from some of these people, I was like, holy shit, this shit doesn't just work for me, it works for other people. Um, and then yeah, so and then following that into the 1%, I'm like, okay, like one, I love it. I love helping people. And like two, like I can't just keep doing it for free. Like like love all the people that I helped. I love you guys, like no
Yeah.
problem. But like that took a lot of time off my plate. And like now I'm in it, like I got bills to pay. Like you know how like I got shit I gotta do too. So like yeah, I now I have the whole coaching program set up with the 1%, and yeah, man, it's going really well. I'm absolutely loving every minute of it. Being able to have an impact on people's lives is truly, truly a blessing.
That's freaking awesome. That's motivational for a lot of people here because you didn't, what did you study in undergrad?
Political science in undergrad,
Okay,
which
interesting.
absolute, yeah, that was two wings to the same beast right there. Learned that in, yeah, I
Yeah.
got to learn that in college.
Yeah. How was that? I'm interested. Like, was
It,
that indoctrinating you into believing a certain system, or was that like just
no,
actually
I mean,
learning? How was that?
my learning my whole life, I've always asked questions my whole life. Even when I was in high school, teachers used to hate me for it. But I always asked questions. I'd always be like, well, why? Why is it that way? Or even in like biology and stuff, when they're telling us that we came from apes, I'm like,
It doesn't line up.
I'm like, dude, listen, I believe in God. So I'm like, dude, I'm like, this doesn't remind me of anything that I learned in Catholic school.
Hmm.
I'm like, this isn't adding up at all. And I'm
Hmm.
asking my teachers and stuff, and they're like, no, like this is how it happened. And I'm like, huh. I'm like, you should go read Genesis. That's what you should go do. And then get back to me if we evolved from apes sitting on a ball at 66,000 miles an hour, whatever it is, right? So I always asked questions. Even when I was in college, I was always so curious about all that stuff. And Michigan is an extremely liberal school. Most colleges are, but
Yeah, of course.
um, having that, even I was just like, this is it's just interesting, right? And like these people are all thinking like this. These teachers are teaching it a certain way. That's awesome for them. Like I was like, I'm not gonna let that. And I still ask questions, even to like my professors at Michigan. I would ask them questions, and they would be like, "Is this kid out of his fucking mind? I'm in the middle of a lecture right now, and he's asking me some shit like this." I'm like, "Oh, hey, listen, what are you gonna do?" So that was a lot. That political science in Michigan was very interesting. Then at Kansas, I got my master's in sports management,
Mm.
which that was actually awesome.
Is
That
that
was
like
fun.
being like a sports agent, or what does that entail?
Oh yeah, you could be a sports agent. I could be like a GM of a team.
Oh
We
shit.
learned about like how to like run like from ticket sales to concessions. Like one of my classes was actually like becoming a GM, which was really really cool. And yeah, even a sports agent, that's one thing that I might be doing in the near future too, on top of everything else, is just because it's just like you got to pass the test and you're a sports agent. And I got enough buddies in the NFL where it's like, well, wouldn't it be a bad idea to add that to the list, to be honest with you? So,
Yeah, little Renaissance man here.
uh,
That's badass. Interesting. So with right, you're coaching people now with health.
yeah.
What are some of the common things you find that people struggle with? Like, what is the reason that people are so unhealthy in America today? Because sometimes we're in our own bubble, right? We see Paul
Right.
Saladino, we see our friends on social media who are all fit, but then we go out in society, you go out to freaking Wegmans or somewhere, and you're like, wait a second, everyone's bald, fat, and tired. So what's going on here?
Um, I think I think the biggest problem is, to be honest with you, bro, is like people don't even know. People haven't done the research because like one of my biggest things is like, dude, just look at the back of a bag of chips or that bag of ho-hos you're doing. You can't even pronounce most of the ingredients on them. Like, what are we doing? And then like the most classic thing I always get is like older people will be like, "Oh, well, I used to eat those, but I'm okay now." It's like, well, yeah, listen, when you used to go to McDonald's, it was actually just potatoes and salt.
Beef tallow.
That's all, and yeah, and there you go. And when you used to eat ice cream, it was just dairy and like and maybe vanilla extract. It wasn't 90% corn syrup and all the shit that we're having now. And I even see you're drinking the Mexican Coca Colas. Like that's a prime example right there. The back of those things are perfect. And it's like, dude, even like, I mean, the more you dive into it, even like water, I'm like, dude, you know, you shouldn't be drinking water from a plastic bottle. You damn sure shouldn't be drinking it from the sink. Have you lost your mind? Oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I'm like, dude, listen. When you were a kid, we weren't lead infested. They weren't loading the lines with fluoride. It's a full different ball game now, dude. And so like I think back to your question is like I don't even think people truly know.
Mhm.
Because whenever I have these conversations and I like tell people like just go do the research yourself. If you don't believe me, go look. Go look at what Red 40 does to you. Go look what Blue One. Go look what all these preservatives that they put into our food. Go look what it does to you. And then they'll get back to me and they'll be like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, you were right. It's like, yeah, no shit. So like for me, I think one is people are uneducated on it. And two, unfortunately, I think people don't really give a shit. Like people are so okay with like, oh, this tastes good. Oh, but I like the way this tastes. Oh, but like you said, you had the coach that used to eat tuna out of a fucking can. We're not here for taste. I love that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start using that one right there because it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, come on. Would you rather feel good and look good or worry about how good something fucking tastes? Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on right there. And there's so many conversation topics. One of them is gluttony, right? You talk about growing up in kind of Roman Catholic background, and gluttony is one of those sins that's really similar to lust and other things. Um, is very dangerous, and many people don't realize these foodies or other people who are obsessed with food that they're really taking they're really taking part in gluttony, which is overfilling yourself, and it's leading to many issues. But I think what you go into deeper is what I love is people don't understand, right? But people, the interesting thing that I think, Andrew, is people are more educated today than ever before, technically, right? They would say that public education is, I think, more prevalent than ever, right? Bill Clinton made No Child Left Behind Act. More people go to college. And I would argue, right, if you look, what's interesting, I love looking at like old menus, food menus from restaurants in the early 1900s, old standardized testing, right? My dad has some of these old books, and I was looking at them, and I'm like, these seventh graders or whatever, like, adolescents in 1911, I think this book was their test, they would smoke everyone in college today. So it's the education, I think, is really an indoctrination. And what's interesting is we're educated, but nobody's educated. We're educated all the time, but what do we people really learn? Especially about health. Almost nothing, right?
We're
They might
educated
learn the
on the
wrong
wrong
thing.
shit.
Yeah, and you're getting and so it's like, so why is this happening? What does this change? Have you thought about that at all? Like, food used to be good. What happened to the food quality? The farms used to be good. What happened to the farms? Uh,
I
what's
mean,
going on here?
yeah, I have a lot of interesting theories on it. I think one is like, ah, man, I really think, you know, the people, and there are elites out there. There are people that do run the
Oh, of
show
course. Yeah, yeah.
without question. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like that's not a fucking thing. And I think those people, you know, whoever they are, the Rockefellers, the fucking Rothschilds, the people who really run the world and all that shit. I think that, I mean, they want to just build rats. In my opinion, they want to build workers. They want to build people that are okay with going to work from 9 to 5, getting home and eating shitty food, going to sleep, waking up the next day and doing the same thing and just falling in that cycle. And just keep going around on the rat wheel and just keep going and going and going and going.
Hmm.
And I mean, to your point, like, yeah, we should be more educated than ever. And you can go on, you can use the tools that have been like AI is a huge one. Like, you can use all of that stuff now and use it for like good and like to actually educate yourself and to really learn. YouTube is a great one. Like, you can find the right videos, you can find the right things that are like, okay, like that is good. I need to learn about that. And back to like the school system, like, I mean, dude, I didn't learn about taxes in school. I got to deal with that now. I'm a homeowner. I got all this shit now. I got to worry about that. I didn't learn about that. I didn't
Yeah.
learn about the actual right foods to put into my body. They gave me some bullshit pyramid that, by the way, is completely fucking wrong. And then, oh yeah, go get a double order at school lunch, which is literally just straight poison. And they're constantly feeding kids that all the time, and it's just like, I don't think that's any surprise there. Like, I just think the system, especially in America, unfortunately, I think it's just completely fraudulent. And until
Yes.
you like outside of it and you like really dive in on how fucked up it is, because once you dive in that, you call it a rabbit hole, call it whatever you want to call it. Once you take that dive in there, oh, you're coming out a changed human being. You're not trusting anything the same. You're not going to even look at that box of ho-hos. You're not going to look at Doritos. Dude, I don't even drink Gatorade anymore.
Hmm.
It's like, it's shit like that. Once you actually do the research and find, dude, you're done. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Couldn't have said it better. And that's what this podcast is about, man. The people who are watching this, some of them might not realize what they're, what's happening in society. And it's one of my big, I would say, kind of mentors in a sense. I haven't met him. He passed away, Ray Pete. I worked closely with his mentee, Kate Deering. She was a coach of mine. And Ray talked a lot about this theory, or really, this is something known called learned helplessness. And this is something that when people's hormones are thrown off, right, they're constantly stressed. There's different stress hormones that we know about. Obviously, cortisol and adrenaline are some. Serotonin, histamine are others, where you're going to get released from poor digestion. Obviously, you're going to have things that impact digestion, like these processed foods. They lead to stress hormones. Then they lead to you kind of feeling fucked up and depressed, right? You feel like all that, a lot of these people, right? They feel the kind of learned helplessness. So they go to their job, they hit the snooze 5 times. They don't work out in the morning when they said they're going to work out in the morning. They go to work. They don't bring lunch. They don't bring water. They buy bottled water. They go to Subway. They're spending half their paycheck on whatever after dinner. After like work, they go to Taco Bell. Maybe they buy their kids pizza for dinner,
Oh,
and then their kids feel like shit. And it's just a cycle of kind of this learned helplessness where people just think this is what life is, right? Like, and it's such a limited view of life, and I feel bad for these people, right? And this is what we're here to really try to open their eyes
completely
and
agree,
say,
bro. I completely agree with you.
yeah, like it's a system where, of course, yeah, I think the indoctrination of people, we go back and you talk about the Rockefellers, right? And the Rockefellers, when a lot of what they did, the Rockefeller Foundation, is they bought out every medical school. They started paying for all of their books. They changed the whole curriculum. They got rid of the old medicine textbooks where they would use a lot of herbs and such, where now they have pharmaceuticals that come from herbs. And then they mix them with petroleum because they're obviously implicated and very much run the oil trade, which is obviously why all these other people who find different types of technology end up dying because they don't want anyone using other power than oil. Um, so, it's an interesting thing. And with AI, what's interesting is that they're they're doing a lot with it and they're kind of forcing it upon us, right? And just a few years ago, they're like, man, AI, Elon's on JRE. And I think that's a whole nother conversation of who these people really are and who they're controlled by, what actors they play, because I think many of these
Uh-huh.
people are actors. But they go on and they talk about AI, it could take out all of civilization. And now they're just pushing upon everybody. We need these data centers. We need this AI. Well, what does this AI run off of? Electricity. What does electricity come from? Natural gas and oil. I thought global warming is real. What about they don't want to talk about solar cycles, right? It's like there's different aspects of energy, but what I think is interesting, man, is a few years ago we weren't able to really talk a lot about this stuff, right? We weren't really able to talk about how athletes were forced to get vaccinated against their will to play the sport, to get their education paid for. Like it's a lot of BS. My coaches promised us we could. I thought it was our body, our choice, right? And then that changed up real
Got kicked
quick.
out of the facility for not getting a vaccination.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's insane, right? Me and a few buddies were forcibly driven over there. I'm like, what is going on here, man? Like, but if you want to go, if you want to have a pregnancy and then, end a life, because if you get in a car accident, it's a double homicide if a pregnant lady is driving. So how does that work, right? So there's a lot of these aspects of politics, but really what I'm trying to get at is I I don't the information right now is able to be shared, but the thing about AI that just it just keeps irking me, right? That gut feeling you get, we talked about, is really important. The gut feeling I get with AI is they're going to be able to kind of control it real quick, who can use it, who can not use it. Like we got in China, social credit score, right? If you say the right things, you do the right things, you have access to your banking, right? Digital wallets and all this stuff. Where crypto, I think, I used to be a Bitcoin guy, got out, but I think that's all CIA, written all over it and all that stuff. But I think AI and the next administration, right? Trump and they're all run by the same people, in my opinion. But the
Of
next
course.
people who get in office, I think, are going to be able to kind of shut down social media, shut down all this stuff. And these people who are hopefully waking up to health that we're talking about today, and maybe even waking up to not a sound monetary system or not a sound education system. I think as everyone relies purely on technology, what happens if they turn off the technology? I think then most people can't do anything for themselves. And that's a huge issue.
That is an elite point, and I actually have thought about that. Like, what happens if they go ahead and shut the grid down? Because
That's the
that
next
I mean,
step, man. I'm telling you.
they could do that at any point. You want to know what's crazy? I seen something that in 72 hours we would lose like 35% of the population in 72
Think
hours.
about New York City.
Oh, it'd be a fucking zombie apocalypse there.
And they do this, and the thing about them is they do predictive programming, right?
Oh, predictive programming is. I try telling people all the time when they're like, "Oh, well, don't you think it's so weird how The Simpsons said this?" And I'm like, "Dude, because they put it in your face. They
Yeah.
shove it in your face. Here, look, and then yeah, that's gonna happen. Same thing with all this shit. The iRobot movie. All these movies, like people gotta start realizing like it's entertainment, yes, but there's messages behind all of these.
Yeah, man. I mean, think about who owns the media companies, right? It's all intelligence operations. It's all people who have ulterior motives to,
Without question.
take out a society. So it's unfortunate, man, because you look at, and I'm going through this book called Reality Transurfing, and it's talking about there's pendulums, right? And it's basically like if you try to attack, right? If we just try to attack the people who we would maybe deem controllers or at higher level, because it's always like the people who are really running it, we don't know. So it's always like, right? It's kind of before that. And people are like, well, Jack, how do you think all this stuff's happening, but it doesn't get leaked? And I'm like, there's so many different parts, right? You're not told if somebody's doing something wrong for a top level person, they're not getting told who they're working for. If you like, it's like the mob, you're just one little boss tells you what to do. But either
They
way,
have puppets.
so many puppets, man.
So many puppets. And like I even like go back into like the Epstein shit that like
Yeah.
okay. So like you're telling me there's an island where they're doing all of these terrible things to these young children, eating them, raping them, all this shit, and there's emails that have been released to the public with people's names on it, and guess what we do about it? We didn't do shit. We didn't do anything about it. And then they send up a spaceship to the moon. The same week all those files are released on April Fool's Day, nonetheless. They sent that to the moon. It's just comedy to me, bro. Comedy. And some people are like, oh, well, didn't you see the pictures that they took? Dude. Oh, oh my God. And so, man, like I have this problem a lot because it's like I definitely don't want to scare anybody, but I do want to wake people the fuck up to like, hey, like this is what is actually going on. And so like, yeah, like listen, my grandpa's the type of guy who sits down and he'll turn on the news and he's telling me everything the news is talking about. I'm like, dude, you
Fuck.
you're a bot, you're a robot. I love you to death, but you think these people are fucking telling you what's going on? Come on, man.
Fucking Fox News. It's like, oh my gosh. Don't
It's
do it.
like, dude. And like
It's the same
the
in my
biggest
family.
thing for the news is like, I don't know if you remember this when COVID came out. Every single news, like there's like a crazy clip of it. Like every one of them had the same
Oh yeah.
script.
Oh yeah.
It
Operation
was like,
Mockingbird, CIA. Yeah.
oh my God, like oh bingo, yes. Every like hundreds of news stations, the same exact. I'm like, dude, there you have it. And so like yeah, whoever sent it in, they're like, yeah, this is here. This is what you're reading. You don't get to say what you want. This is what you're reading. Here you go. And so like, man, for me, it's Bugs Life. I want to say is the movie. And
Yeah.
I remember watching it as a kid, and I even remember like seeing a clip of it not too long ago. And it's like the Hornets are talking about the ants, and they're like, if they knew that there's so much more of them than us, like they would just take us over. So we can't let them think like that. We can't let that happen. And it's like, yeah, even in a movie, Bug's Life, yeah, they're programming you as a fucking child. And they're telling you the truth. Those hornets are those people up here. We're the ants. But all it would take is just one little switch. And imagine if everybody was like, yeah, no, we're not paying taxes. What are they going to do? Not shit. Problem is, they've implemented so much fear among people. And that's the unfortunate reality that we live in. People live life with fear.
Yeah. And fear is one of the lowest, really fear, shame, and a few other things are some of like the lowest frequencies we can really have. And when you're constantly, I was thinking about COVID too, right? It's all scripted, like you said. Like what they're saying, obviously it's scripted beforehand, and these bioweapons labs that are getting destroyed with all these wars in Ukraine
Oh, yeah.
specifically,
Yeah.
it was all bioweapons labs there, and child sex trafficking in Ukraine, which is why we have a war there. But either way, um, it's just the fact that people don't, I guess, like realize, like right in Fox News, I remember the death count, and that's what you're talking about with fear, right? They had like a death, like a ticker. Remember it was like the
Kept
NFL
going
draft, but it
up.
was like, yeah, how many people have died? And it's like, oh yeah, the flu doesn't exist this year. It's just there's a lot of 5G got implemented this year.
Uh-huh.
Every time wireless has been upgraded, there happens to be some type of plague. So,
And then it's just how that works.
very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, and nobody wants to talk about that. And that was kind of one of the. I mean, I don't know if you know David Icke. That was one of the first things he kind of mentioned. I remember early on in COVID, he's like, they're implementing 5G everywhere on all these mountains, and people are just happen to be getting sick. Um, and we know what happens with our phone in our pocket.
Oh yeah.
And where our phone, like when people are talking on their phone, they get brain cancer. They're getting testicle cancer, and I feel like right now, just a few days ago, I had this, I've kind of felt this realization, but I feel like it's like all the people, the elites, they're planning, again, this group, because I don't want to give them too much power here, but they're plan. I feel like there's something going on because I feel like it's just, they're taking they're squeezing the last bit of pulp out of everything they can get money wise, and like, flood the nations with people who don't like the nations, right? Because we've been convinced, right, the past since I don't know, uh, every maybe war in the history of the United States has been wrongly fought. So
Without question.
so it's like, okay, we've been forced into every single war. There's a great book by Smedley Butler, and he served, I think, in the Spanish-American War, but he said war is a racket. That's the book, and it's a short book. It's like 40 pages, fantastic. And he talks about this before World War One, and he's like, this is all BS. And obviously, there's always a false flag event, right? False flag event. Somehow, recently we look in maybe Israel be a false flag event. Somehow they can shoot down missiles out of the sky, but you got people on hang gliders who can somehow just pop in your country. Like you're telling me you can't defend against that? That seems just insane to me. But then it just excuses to create war. And war is how they make profit. And that's like a kind of an Orwellian, right? 1984, we're always at war. And it feels like I know I'm on a tangent here, but it feels like they're moving borders around, right? Taiwan's getting taken, Greenland. And it's all distraction. Focus on FIFA World Cup. Go enjoy whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
we're getting
you're dude,
distracted.
you're so
It's
spot
crazy.
on. Oh god.
People need
Dude,
to hear this stuff, man.
no, you're 100% right. And unfortunately, I mean, and I hate saying this, but I do tell my loved ones and I tell people that are going to be watching this, like, I do believe, unfortunately, we are in the mix of a great reset. And what I mean by that is, like, if you are not ready, then you will not survive, to be honest with you. Like, I really do think, like, they want, I mean, dude, like, if you look at everywhere, like, population's a big problem. Like,
Supposedly.
yeah, supposedly. But we're, I mean, even like we're here in Rochester, dude, the housing market, like, we can't,
Mm,
when we have an apartment go up, it's gone like that. Like, people do need places to live. Like, that
hmm
is a fact.
hmm
Um, and I just think it's very, very interesting to your point. What is the next step? Like, what is gonna happen next? I mean, COVID was what, 2020?
Yep.
We're in 26 now. I mean, yeah, it's scary to think about, but like what I always tell people too is like, unfortunately, like we really can't do shit about it. Like unless we all fucking bind up together, which is I wish and I pray for that day because I'll be a fucking front soldier. Like let's fuck boots on the ground, baby. Let's go.
But how do we get right? And this is, I think, the issue. How do we bond together, right? This is when the power grid, right when I think that movement, which is coming, right? I think that
Yeah.
movement's coming. I think people are starting to wake up to this. But as that movement comes, that's when the communication gets clipped,
Oh yeah, gone.
right? And that's kind of, I think, how they're going to take as much as they can. And then once that communication, once and nobody buys books and everyone relies on AI and everyone has electric cars and nobody has guns and nobody grows their own food and nobody lives near a farm and nobody has a community, once everyone starts to wake up to that, then they cut everything. And
Oh
then
yeah.
you're, and then
And
it's,
then when that happens, until they turn it back on and let you know what the new world order is, you know, yeah, you're in some shit. Thankfully, I mean, if I gotta go 3 days without food, I'm fasted prepared, so that'd be no problem. We'll absolutely rock that out. I got some water jugs in the basement. I got my big old Brita, or not Brita, it's called Aurora filter. Apparently, best in the
hell yeah.
game scientifically.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, check it out.
um, yeah, man, I think when that does happen, because it will happen eventually. I mean, if you be familiar with Project Bluebeam,
Yeah.
okay, so like that to me is like
Love it.
one of like gonna be the crazy. Whether they fake an alien invasion, whether they have God come down from the sky and tell us, you know, what to do. Like whatever. I mean, one, it's anybody can go look up Project Bluebeam. These are
Yeah, it's a
CIA
CIA operation.
documents. Like,
Yep.
yeah, this is like full. This is legit.
Yeah.
And
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever that happens, like, I think a lot of people are going to be like, holy shit. A lot of people will bow down and submit because unfortunately, like, that's, you know, that is what a lot of people fall into is being very submissive people and listening to exactly what they're told to do. Like, similar to what we were talking about earlier, like, it's almost been wired in people their whole lives
Of course it has. Yeah.
to do as instructed to do. Study for this exam, take this exam. Okay, now go work 9 to 5, eat bullshit all day, pay taxes, pay rent. I mean, that's gonna say that's like no people don't even own homes anymore. It's like it's it's just like holy shit, dude. But like you get stuck in the system, you get stuck in the I call it the rat race. It's like the most obvious thing, and the problem with a lot of people is they get comfortable in that. Oh, I do have enough to pay my rent. Oh, I do have enough to pay for my car and for groceries, and I got a couple extra bucks, $100 a month, and like that's all I need. I'm comfortable with that. And dude, some of those people I just want to fucking grip them up. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, when you're comfortable, it's
That's where health comes in, man. Because when you get healthy, I'm sure you've seen this with some of your clients. When you get a guy who has always been kind of overweight and then he gets fucking lean, diced up, they start to think differently. They're
oh
like, wait a
yeah,
second. They get a new job, they get a new girlfriend, they get a new place. They're like, what? They start to kind of wake up to like, wait a second. If I put my mind to something and I want to change my reality and I do it with my body, which most people can't do, and most people even try these drugs to keep the weight off, right? These different GLPs and peptides, and they try all these things, right? They try all these secrets, the secret supplement, and they still can't lose weight. When you actually do it yourself and you hire somebody like yourself
yeah.
who knows how to do it, right? Who's done it themselves, who walks the walk, who's not some random ass person on Instagram who's telling you this study says this study says this, who's paid off by all these corporations to tell you certain things. But when you really do it yourself and change your life, and one of the hardest parts of life that you can do is change your body, then you realize, and your mind changes in that process. It must change because where the mind goes, the body will follow. From there, you can wake up. And I think that's where health comes in, man. Health really helps people wake up more than I've seen anything else.
Without question.
If you realize you're being poisoned, you have
Oh
to
yeah,
wake up.
yeah. When you've lived a life full of poison, and like even now, my parents like I get on my whole family's ass with the stuff that I know, and I tell my parents all the time, I'm like, unfortunately, you guys poisoned us when we were kids, and they get mad at me, but I'm like, listen, it's okay. You guys didn't know.
Yeah,
I love you to death. You didn't. You guys didn't do the research, and honestly, most of it wasn't even available to know. That's
100%.
okay. I've done the research now, and you can go do it yourself too, and you'll have the answers just like I do now too. It's that simple. And like another thing you said was perfect. If you can master the body, you can master the mind so easy, and then you turn your life into whatever the fuck you want to turn it into. That was that was honestly one of the best birthday gifts I ever received in my life. Was when I came back that summer. I didn't see my family in like 8 months, and so they see me at 18% body fat, and I come back home at 9%, fucking shredded, and they're looking at me like, "What the fuck?" My big brother called me that year and he said, "Listen, like I never understood the whole football stuff. Like I always thought you were kind of an asshole." He's like, "I cannot even explain to you how proud I am of you because you just went and did something so hard that literally 99% of human beings can never obtain in this life, and you did it." And so like, I am so proud of you for doing that because like not only is that like not only do you look great, but what it's gonna set you up for. Because if you can do that, you can fucking do anything. And I try to tell people all the time, it's like, oh yeah, oh but work, but I just got this new job, but I'm got all this stuff going on. It's like, dude, nothing is more important than you, than your health, than your mind, than what you're putting into your body, than how you train your body. It's like that is what is most important. Everything else that takes a back seat. That is the realest thing ever. When people understand that and they realize that, their life will change. But not only their life, to what you said, their mind will change. then their finances will start changing. Everything will start falling into order once you take care of the body. If you walk around as a 1% person that's walking on this earth, if you can see your abs, if you can literally look at all your muscles on your body and they're jumping off your body, you got veins coursing through your body naturally, and you did it through health, through eating properly, through training every day, bro, there's nothing in this world that you can't fucking do. Without question. Sorry for the rant, but
Don't be sorry.
that shit gets me fucking jacked up because I'm like, listen, like it's seriously as simple as that.
It is, man. It's and in regard to that, right? You're spot on, and it's like it's worth, right? You're the biggest investment you can make is yourself, right? You're the biggest, most important asset. People are like, oh, well, this stock might give me a 10%, 20% return. It's like, motherfucker, if you change your life, you can give a 10x return. You can literally 10x yourself. You can become some average ass person to gaining respect, meeting people. Like it can change your life, not let alone so many guys' motivation is women
Oh yeah.
changes your complete life in so many different ways. It's like, I remember going from 300, 305 to like 220, and I'm like, this is a different world. This is life is completely different, but you don't even know. And then you
No.
start to just like slowly go down. I went from a triple X to a single X to an L. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't wear any of the old clothes. Like, this is awesome. But what about for you? There's so many people who want shortcuts, man. And like, right, there's times and places for medications or such, but and I would say medications, like I'm somebody who has thyroid issues, so I have to take like a thyroid hormone. And I didn't want to, but I eventually did. But like 99% of people, or not 99%, but not a lot of people need it relative. But everyone wants to take, it used to be SARMs. Back when I played football, it was like, the SARMs were popular, not even for players, but it was just a popular talking point. But now it's all peptides, GH secreting peptides, injury healing peptides. I've tried BPC. I didn't really find much success with it for injuries. And then obviously the GLPs and stuff. So, like, I'm sure you have clients ask you about this all the time. Like,
Oh yeah.
what's your kind of approach with that?
And I have clients, I have friends ask me about it all the
Yeah,
time. It's just
every day.
my biggest thing with all that shit is just like, man, like the way to live is naturally. So like
Yeah.
if like, and I get questioned all the time, what do you take? I'm like, dude, I don't take anything. I've built this shit by actually doing the right things. And to me, like my favorite word, like the most core value word that you can ever have in your life is discipline.
Hmm.
And one favorite ways to sum it up is choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. Because yeah, you can take peptides, and like if I start chewing up with those things right now, I'm sure in 2 months I'd look even fucking crazier than I do now. I'm sure of it, I would. But it's also cheating. And eventually, what a lot of people don't want to hear with all these peptides is like, yeah, it's helping cells, it helps them grow faster or recover faster, all that stuff like that, right? Okay, what about the bad cells in your body? What? Oh, you don't want to talk about the bad cells in your body that it's also doing the same thing for. Okay, right. So for me, peptides and all that shit, and I have a lot of buddies that swear by them. And I even have one of my buddies at Midtown who's like, he has a whole peptide company. And this guy's on like everything you can think of, and he's fucking massive, yoked out of his mind. And he's doing a great job, and God bless him. I love the dude. But for me, he's even asked me, "Oh, you ever gonna get on?" I'm like, no, never. Like that shit does not interest me in the slightest because I've gone through what it takes to do it naturally and to do it the hard way. And like what you said, short term satisfaction. If you go and you want short term satisfaction in anything in life, you you might get it sometimes. You're gonna fail most of the time.
You get long-term pain.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It's
Long
that
term pain.
it's that trade-off. Or you deny the short-term satisfaction, you actually learn how to eat, learn how to read labels, learn how to cook food, and then you become healthier. It's and there's something about the peptides that just also like it's just my, I guess, conspiracy mind, right? It just kind of runs rampant through everything.
I'd
And
love to hear it though, because I my only thing with peptides I know is just that they're just very sketchy to me.
well, everyone, at least 99% of people who tell me about peptides online happen to profit off of peptides.
Oh, there's a shocker right there.
So
Yeah.
we don't profit off of selling of telling you to eat ground beef that's
No.
natural and organic. We don't.
Yeah.
There's no profit off that.
No.
Like I'm like, hey, this is most of the things I help people with. I'm like, I don't make any money off this. It's just this is a good shampoo. It's clean, whatever it is. This is a good deodorant. It's there's no profit off of it. But all these doctors, all these different people tend to make money off of it, right? They make money off it, or they own a company. They don't even disclose it, but there's things out there. People, have a financial vested interest in it. So of course they're going to take a peptide. Even like it was Bummer, Greg O'Gallagher, who was always natural for a long time. Kino Body, I don't know if you know of him on
Yep, yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, I know him. Yep.
He was natty for so long. Or like that's what he said, and now he's hopped on the tirzepatide because he has a clinic. He's got his own clinic where he sells it. I'm like, man, like you don't have to do that.
Even the
And it's
good ones will fall.
yeah, it's just it leads to a lot of thyroid issues, and this is something that I try to really talk to people about because this is one of my main things I help people with after having issues myself was the thyroid, which is your butterfly gland underneath your Adam's apple in your throat that regulates basically all of your energy in your body. So it creates hormones called T3 and T4. T3 is the active version, but when you're slowing your metabolism by eating much less food because you're injecting something that makes you eat less, then you're going to impact your thyroid. You become hypothyroid initially. You have slow thyroid, so your energy system slows down, which is why people look all drawn in and kind of just deflated. But then eventually, it impacts their testosterone because you need thyroid for testosterone. But eventually, you get people have thyroid cancer, and they already have massive lawsuits against Ozempic for this because people are getting thyroid cancer. And again, I'm very much passionate about trying to help people not have this because I have a bunch of tumors on my thyroid and other places in my body. This is how I got into health research because I'm like, wait a second, I went to a million doctors, nobody could help me, and then I realized I have all these issues, and that's. But there's also other conspiracy side of it where the GLP, from my understanding, and Solbra, he's a guy on Instagram and Twitter. He goes into a lot of stuff, which is interesting too. He even talks about creatine, how that's created from cyanide, um, which they don't share. But GLPs, from my understanding as well, a lot of it's derived from plastic. These come from vats in India and China, but it's also derived, um, I believe, from snake venom. So there's also like a mark of the beast aspect to it that people have referred to previously. Again, these aren't talked about often online because the algorithm, people are like, oh, you got to build the algorithm is something. Like the algorithm is created for a certain reason. There's a certain reason why maybe me and you aren't as popular as certain other people. And I don't, I think it's because they hear our phones and what we talk about things that,
Unfortunately, you're probably
yeah,
not fucking wrong.
I'm telling you, man,
Yeah,
because when you talk to people in real life, you can probably captivate them, sell them, you can do whatever, you can help them, right? They're all
right.
bought in every time,
Every
right?
time.
Every time. I'm the same way. But
Right.
online, it's like they don't want to the message. We can't let these motherfuckers get big. They're gonna blow our cover. They're gonna tell us to buy gold, get guns, buy land, get their own food. These guys are issues. The first people who get banned off in a few years when they change it. But that's just some of my thoughts on those medications. I think they're just a mix of a honeypot and probably like a COVID vaccine 2.0 where it's probably injecting things. Because think
Ozempic's
about
one
everyone
of
who
the
takes the peptides, man. Everyone who takes the peptides are the people who didn't want to take the vaccine now.
yeah.
Who do they market it to? Young men, young red pill men, specifically, right? No libs, no liberal men are taking any peptides. So it's all the guys who didn't want to take the vaccine. So who knows what's in these peptides?
Um, I mean, I even think like even the buddy I have, he's like, I'm like, well, do you guys make them? And he's like, oh no, somewhere in China.
Yep.
I'm like, brother. Uh
Yeah.
and it's like again, when you really know, like too, because China runs the show. I mean, food, like they tell folks that this is what the fuck we're doing. So like, yeah, dude, the whole I mean, the peptide thing, especially Ozempic, is one to me that's really sketchy, is because like everybody's on it. Like if you're fat and you want to lose weight, dude, why would I go train so hard and eat healthy? I can take this shot and I'm gonna lose weight. I can still drink. I can still eat whatever the fuck I want, and I don't even have to work out. Can you believe that? And I can lose all this fucking weight.
and their doctor prescribes it.
And I'm like, dude, listen to what you just said. Does that make any fucking sense to you? It's like, no, but it's easy. Okay.
There's no free lunch in life, right? Like we know this
Nah,
from athletics. There's no free lunch. Like
nah.
there's gonna be, there's a cause and effect. There's a come and a go. There's always an issue that's gonna come back. I mean, we're seeing that with COVID vaccines right now. All these people are dying of heart attacks. All these people are getting cancer very young. Like it's pretty clear, there's only one thing that really occurred at that time period, and nobody wants to talk about that either. I think that's like a tragedy. It really is. Because I try to not hold resentment because I just don't think it's a healthy thing to do. But there's a lot of people and a lot of doctors. Like I tried to get a medical exemption multiple times. I had to basically not go to grad school and then eventually figured it out. But like these doctors who are prescribing, right, these GLPs, they have no long-term studies, right? Willy-nilly, they're prescribing the COVID shots, COVID boosters to 6-month-olds. Like there's a clear, there's something clear going on that's like, hey, let's just degrade the health of the public, you know,
Yeah.
and we wonder why there's so many transgender people. We wonder why there's so many gay people, right? Obviously, homosexuality and transgender comes from hormones. Okay, hormones are being messed with, so most men aren't even masculine, right? Most men don't even have a freaking cheekbones or jawline. Like it's just
They're turning men into bitches. Like it's, and to piggyback off that is just like yeah, they're forcing vaccines down your throat. Like I remember in college, I was huge. I'm like, oh, there's no chance, bro. Coach Harbaugh literally, we're mid workout, and he's like, go home. I was like, Coach, you can't do that. I literally, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, well, yes, I can, because you're not coming back here until you're vaccinated. I'm like, what the fuck? So that put me in like the craziest position. I'm like, okay, do I not keep playing? I'm in the fucking. This is everything I've worked for right here. Or do I? And dude, I had to get the vaccine. I felt like
I
shit.
was
I
just
took a
I was the
bunch
same
of.
way.
I took a bunch of. What's it called? Like a bunch of supplements. I forgot what they all were, but it's
Like
like
ivermectin, or
yeah, post vaccine pills.
I
I
did the same thing.
flooded the system with it. Flooded. And then the booster comes out, and let's I don't they can't they're not gonna come do shit to me now, but we had the booster and everyone was it was mandatory that you got the booster. So they scheduled our times. So I go into the place to get it, and it's where we used to practice for lacrosse. And so I knew this building perfectly. And so I walk in, they give me the sticker. And so I'm like, huh.
Well, I'm
You remember
good.
you got your little
The
vaccine card, they put the sticker on there. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom quick. I knew there was an
gone.
exit door right by the bathroom. Boy, gone. And I'm like, listen, I either get a phone call in 15 minutes telling me I'm fucked or I'm good.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
15 minutes goes by, I'm like, hour goes by, next day of practice, I'm like, oh baby, we're in the clear. These
Oh yeah,
fuckers.
dude. For real. My one buddy was selling fake vaccine cards and I should have bought one because I thought
Uh,
they were like only X% of the team has to get a vaccine. So we hit that threshold. I didn't get mine. I'm like, oh, we're good. Like, I'm good. And then they're like, nope. Coach Mo, he comes in, he's like, everyone's got to get it. And then there's like the last survivors, whatever, it's like 7 or 8 guys. And we get taken to UB South campus. And I took a video before we went in. I still have it saved on my phone. I'm like, if I die, these motherfuckers made me take this.
uh,
Um, I said goodbye to my family because I'm like, this is, and that's probably the biggest regret of my life. I don't have really many, if any, but that's one of them. I not holding to my moral values, and that taught
I
me a big
agree.
lesson till
I
today.
agree.
And I've learned that, and now today, if something else happens like that, and I'm sure there will be some other situation, a situation before that, before COVID, obviously, one of them would be the Patriot Act where they legalized the surveillance of basically anyone through their cell providers.
Yep.
And that was from 9/11. Could talk about
Snowden.
9/11. Yeah, Snowden released
Snowden.
all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Snowden's badass.
Yeah, he's a fucking
Um,
savage. I love that guy.
isn't it crazy how the media smears him too?
I mean, dude, of course they do. Of course. Anybody. One thing that I've also been realizing, anybody that is in the public eye that's like good, good, boy, I promise you, they got something hiding in that closet.
That's what I'm saying about the algorithms, man.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
agree with that without question. Yeah, even look at like a guy like Ashton Hall would be a great example of a dude that just blew up, gives all the glory to God. But that just it interests me so much because I'm like, okay, he's got 20 million followers now. There's got to be something.
oh, of course there is. This is how they do it. They come to you, hey, we've got this dirt on you, right? You did X, Y, and Z. Epstein Island's not the only thing they did. Andrew Tate was the same guy. He took all Donald Trump Jr. He took Candace Owens' husband, right? He's very familiar with the House of Royals and Aleister Crowley and all these guys in England. So Andrew Tate was the same way, right? He records everyone having sex with underage women. Now you do that with people who are whatever. Not saying that this guy did it, but it's just an example, right? They have
Yeah.
something on you. Hey, well, or they say, hey, we're going to give you all this, right? They do. I think they do this to athletes all the time,
Right.
and it's like, hey, we're going to give you this prominence, this power. Like Michael Jordan, you have to sacrifice your father. Like Kanye, you've got to sacrifice your mother.
Mom. Yep.
Um, so I think these are extremely common things that they do, and you've got to give something because again, this goes to a deeper aspect of who are some of the people running it, right? And if you look in the ancient Canaanites, right, this is kind of the people who worship Baal, who worship Moloch, who do all these things in the California woods, Bohemian Grove, who,
Bohemian Grove. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So the people who do this, right, these are ancient gods, right? These are ancient gods from the land of Cain. This is a lot of like pre-Old Testament stuff.
Yeah.
But what they do, right, it's human sacrifice, is a big aspect of it. And they do that obviously through like eating humans, right? And I think they put that in our food too. I tell this to clients all the time.
McDonald's.
I tell this to clients all the time, like, hey, if you're eating fast food, you might be eating a human, pal. Like, I'm not like we're not doing that. Like, if we're doing a refeed on a high day or something, I'm like, hey, get some extra food in. Like, you make your food. You have quality food. Like,
Without question.
pardon?
I even yeah to
Yeah.
even piggyback on that, like do the math, people. You think there's enough cows? Do the fucking math. Go look up how much fucking burgers McDonald's goes through a day, and then how many cows that would take. And that's just one fast food corporation. You still got Burger King, you still have all these other people. And you have all these restaurants too that is also a little sketchy to me too, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I think 75% of the pork comes from China.
Oh yeah, pork
How
is
does
one
that get shipped across the country? Like, how does that get shipped across the Pacific?
pork
Like,
is one thing that yeah, you I tell people all the time to stay away from. And listen, I love bacon more than the fucking next guy, but like especially like biblical, it says many times to stay the fuck away from pigs. And that's in many different religions too, by the
oh
way.
yeah, that's prominent in Judaism and Islam. It's pretty, I think well, there's a deeper conspiracy behind this one, the pigs. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but you mentioned the Great Reset earlier, and there's these kind of things intertwine, right? From my understanding, there's been about five Great Resets, maybe more, maybe six or seven, but right. Either way, the pig thing there's a good channel, great channel on YouTube called Mind Unveiled, and they talk about there's basically this was actually talked about a few hundred years ago was humans were somehow kind of turned into pigs, or some humans were, and pigs are basically like an offshoot of humans, and that's why like if you do dissections, it's almost the same thing.
Bro, and then did you see Odyssey?
No, what they do? I had to vote with my dollars and say I'm not watching this BS. These people aren't real Greeks or Scythians here.
Dude, there's a scene in that movie. And you just said that, and holy shit.
I'm telling you, man, it's a real like
The witch turns the dude's men into pigs.
that's an ancient thing. It's in the book. Yeah, that makes sense. I read the book. That makes sense. Yeah, it's these are like ancient. And again, yeah. So
Oh my goodness, bro.
yeah, and as you get, I think there's a large argument that Jesus also was a pescatarian, probably a vegetarian too, from the tribe of the Essenes. I think they lie a lot about Jesus as well. I think that's a whole nother topic. Um, because, we talk about the great resets, from our understanding, right, we're always told we're the most advanced civilization
No
currently.
fucking.
And it's like, guys, that's pretty clear. Like, the more I've studied this stuff, I don't know. Do you dabble in kind of like the more ancient history, like
Uh,
Graham Hancock or Atlantis or anything like that?
Atlantis. What is the one? Tartaria.
Yeah,
That was one,
Tartaria is out
right?
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I completely agree. Like, I even ask people all the time, how in the world do you think those pyramids got there? And like, what can you imagine what they used to look like? Like, it's stuff like that. And ancient civilization, I think, is so interesting because there's no way that we're the most advanced. It's not even close.
Yeah. It's, you know, there's many things that we haven't been, I think a lot of things get people who are in control, right? We talk about resets. I think in the United States, there was many civilizations, even in this land, just a few hundred years ago that we don't even know about. But as you go out west and you look around the land, this doesn't make any sense. There was people here, and these formations, these rock formations aren't natural. Like there's some clear freaking things going on here, and this place got blasted. It looks like with some kind of direct energy weapon, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
it just happened in Canada. The same shit just happened there.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
forest fires. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking to my buddy last night, and he's at a fire right now, and we're seeing like some green lights, weird green lights in the sky. We saw that too when I was out there. Like those are the laser beams that freaking
Poof.
yeah.
And by the way, if anyone out there, you'll know, go do your research. Lasers can't go through blue. The color blue they can't go through. So like
Oh, the roofs.
they'll, yeah, there'll be like houses still standing, orange cars or blue cars still standing because the lasers can't penetrate the color blue. And isn't it so interesting that like I even seen there was a spot in Canada that just got torched. All the wildlife is still there, and all these houses and all these big buildings are just gone. Like same shit happened in Maui,
Yeah, LA.
and it's just uh until people want to wake up and really realize that what the actual fuck is going on. And like I said earlier, my whole life I'm just blessed I've been someone who's asked questions, truly. And yeah, that's a pretty fucking powerful thing. Ask the question. Just ask.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that's a great way to end it, man. That's the curiosity cast. That's why we're here. Ask questions, Don't just take everything, even what we say, don't take it for everything. I love the Bruce Lee quote, and it's take what is useful, discard what is not, make the rest your own. So that's really what it's about here. Even nutrition training, all that stuff is learn things like we've done. You apply it, you see what you like, you make it your own, and the same with knowledge.
Yeah, and
So
it's a beautiful thing when everything goes together properly too.
yeah, you can feel
For
those
the mind,
synchronicities.
body, and the soul, without question.
100%. So, well, Andrew, appreciate it. Appreciate you hopping on. Where can everyone find you if they want to work with you for coaching? They're trying to freaking get their mind, body, soul dialed in for the first time.
Yeah. Online, Instagram, Andrew Russ underscore underscore. Twitter, same thing, or TikTok, same thing, and then X is Andrew underscore Russ.
You're on a TikTok? Okay, let's go. This is the website
There
here.
it is.
Let's
There's
freaking
the
go.
1%
Tap
right
in.
there,
Tap
baby.
in, ladies and gentlemen. Tap in.
Come on now.
1% program. Let's go. I love it. Website's elite. I gotta get your web developer on here, but this is
Yeah,
epic. Whole background, everything. Look at
love
that.
it.
Freaking shredded up, dude.
Come on now. The slogan's my favorite. Love the mission too, but
What was the
most people
slogan?
talk, few execute.
Oh, I like that. That's
Become the
hard.
1%.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Pump for you. It's
Day
been
by
great
day,
to,
bro.
yeah, man. It's been
I
great to see
appreciate
that.
you having me on. This was
Of course, man.
fantastic
It
conversation.
was, it was great. We'll have to run it
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah, we'll have to do
Um,
it again for
we'll come up with
sure.
some topics to chat about, or maybe I'll make a PowerPoint or something. But
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll
All right,
stop the
dude.
recording. Everyone, check out Andrew, and we'll see you
Yes,
next
sir.
time.